Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday game day edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, Batters with P Clinic, Hutco Roofing, HutcoRoofing.com. Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. Did a 2-hour session at Restored Motions yesterday. Oh my God, I feel amazing. Book your session. You got pain. Oh God, go see Crystal Poche. Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com. Okay, game day. What y'all think? LSU at Mississippi State in Stark Vegas, y'all. 11 a.m. kick. I was just on Eagle 98.1 game day, and Hanny asked me what I think we'll see from the Mississippi State offense. Obviously, they've run it a lot the first 2 weeks, but they got Will Rogers, who's done it a bunch in his career, and I think they're going to run it. I think a lot. I think it's what they do. When you play an overtime game, like they did last week against Arizona, so you're in a tight game and you only throw 17 times, you're telling us what you are. And what they are is a team that is like what Les Miles was here. You run the ball, you play defense, you throw high percentage passes, and that's that. So I think that plays into LSU's hands. If Will Rogers comes out and slings it 40 times today, I will stand corrected. But we'll see. All right, we'll say some good mornings. Did spend some time yesterday talking about what the LSU defense looks like without Omar Speights today, and what the offense might look like without without Mason Taylor. If he doesn't play, Mac Markway would play in his place. So, I think a big day for West Weeks, who likely fills in for Omar Speights. So you have Greg Penn, West Weeks as your starting inside backers. Whit Weeks and Christian Braithwaite, a couple of true freshmen, are next up. So not sure I really want to see that manifest. So let's hope those linebackers stay healthy and the offense has a big day. Okay. We'll say some good mornings here. Smash that like button on YouTube. Please subscribe up to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscone page, share the post. Appreciate y'all for being here as always. Greg Duga, hangover, Bob? How much laughter was endured? So I went to Dave Chappelle last night, and no hangover. I drove myself there and back. So I had one beer whenever I arrived, which, by the way, was logistically horrendous. So I left downtown Baton Rouge at 6 right after AFR, and I cruised into NOLA, and I hit traffic 7:30-ish. I'd go take the, whenever you go to like the 1090 split downtown, I heading toward the 190. The 90 was so backed up, so I went toward Slidell and took the Superdome exit and tried to go right and went around the back. It took me an hour to go from the Poydras exit to being in line for the show. It was it was a logistical nightmare. And then, because we told you this, it was a no cell phone show for Dave Chappelle. You can't he don't want people recording the show. So every person, like a lot of you said, you have to put your phone in a bag, one of those, what do they call them, bags. Well, I had to put my watch in there too. Well, freaking bag didn't close. Or the lady or whoever put my phone in the bag, it didn't close. So I was like, just had my phone in my pocket. I could very easily just take my phone out and start going. Anyway. But Chappelle was great. But anyway, my point is, so I walked in at 8:30, bought a sandwich and a beer, sat there at a little tall top table, ate, and then 10 minutes later, Chappelle was starting. So So no hangover. And then show ended, drove home. So, and I actually, he was kind of wrapping up a little bit, and so I got up and I left because I did not want to get sick. I was parked in the top level of the dome garage. I was like, I'm not sitting in this parking garage for 2 hours. I'm leaving. So I left like 5 minutes early so I could beat all the traffic. So I got home by like 11 o'clock. It's great. Anyway, but Chappelle was great. Chappelle was great. Jason Horn, good morning. Jason Duplantis, good morning. Vernell Thomas, good morning. What do you think we should do against Mississippi State? I think LSU, especially LSU, has a massive advantage with their wide receivers against the Mississippi State secondary, which I think is the unquestioned weakness of the state team. Similar, right? But that means there should be plays to be made through the air. And if you do that, you soften up the middle of the defense, the ability to run the ball. So, weird. No, Aladdin. What is that? Anyway, what is that? It's a video game. Probably. Yep, video game. Let's see. Jason Horn, 27-14 Tigers. I think LSU scores more than that. Kelly Gross, good morning. Brian Arsenault, good morning. Brian Broom, good morning. Patrick Berglass, morning, Matt. Go Tigers. Tough loss by our Bears to U-High in such a close game. We got to get it together. I just saw the final was like 31-30 when U-High kicked the field goal in the last play. Sound like a good game. Let's see. Really hope Weeks has a big day. Weeks was LSU's leading tackler a week ago in the game against Grambling. So Spates got hurt. Weeks went in, and this is his kind of game, especially if Mississippi State is going to run Woody Marks and 25, 30 times. This is a see ball, hit ball type game, and I think that favors Weeks. Veteran player, third year, played a ton of linebacker. So I like it. Do I wish Omar Spates was there? Absolutely. But Greg Penn, West Weeks, I think I like that combo in this game. Now, I really want Omar Spates back against Ole Miss in 2 weeks. Tiger Diver, good morning. Michael Hoffman. Trevon Lawrence, shout out to the channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Dalton Barnett, morning, Matthias. The fighting Brandon Walker's going down. Hashtag Team Drew. Gary Petrie, good morning, Tiger Nation. Hoping Garrett gets his chance to start. That's not going to happen. Gary, I'm wondering if you're just trying to troll me this morning. Garrett Nussmeier's not starting. Jaden Daniels is the starting quarterback. Why is this hard? This is not hard. Andy Boy, good morning. Scott Loom 12, what did you think about Chappelle last night? Chappelle was great. I tell you, if there was a disappointing thing, the audio was low. So he had a handheld mic, right? He wasn't wearing a mic. Sometimes you wear a mic, an earpiece mic that comes here, so the mic always stays in close proximity to your face. Number one, so you don't have to hold the mic, but also so that way you're controlling the levels the entire day, right? Or the entire show. Well, Chappelle had a handheld mic, so there's times he was right here, and there's times it was down here. When it was down here, it's very hard to hear him. And with people laughing and everything like that, it's like you miss punchlines sometimes. So it's going to be a Netflix special, and so I'm sure I'll watch it on Netflix. Not necessarily like this tour he's on, not necessarily the show that I saw last night, but I don't think that's necessarily going to be the one that they air. But anyway, Will Davis, good morning. Yeah, I'm wondering if anybody else went to Chappelle last night in New Orleans. If y'all had the same problem with the audio, if you thought it was low. Let's see, Dalton Barnett. I love everyone's enthusiasm about us, but good Lord, Jaden will play if he's able. I know. Travis Broussard, good morning. First time catching live in a while. Enjoy the content. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate you for being there. Andy Boy, good morning. How much do we see Hurd today, and does Jones get any time at guard? Yeah, so Andy, that's what they'll do, right? So whenever Lance Hurd goes in, they'll move Emory Jones into right guard. Frazier comes out. Jones goes inside to guard, and Hurd goes to tackle. I think we're going to see something similar that we saw last week. So I think you'll see Miles Frazier play the first quarter, and then in the second quarter you'll see Lance Hurd go in, and then I think they make determination moving forward based on the result there in the first half. So, Jason Mobile, good morning. Are you rocking the purple suede for game day? I am not, Jason, and I'll tell you why. He's talking about my purple suede dunks that I got from Ruckus. I am not, Jason, and the reason I am not is because I'm going to Don Juan, and I do not want to get the cigar smoke scent all in the suede. That's why, because I think it would be very hard to get out. Joseph Baggard, good morning. What would you like to see from our defense that would make you feel that they're showing improvement, especially in the secondary? Better tackling. See, here's the thing. Last week against Grambling, it wasn't like they had receivers running free down the field. They would quickly get the ball out, throw it to receivers in space. You hear that phrase all the time. Give it to our athletes in space. When that happens, you have to be responsibility, sound, and discipline when you make tackles. So, oh yeah, it was that 9 overtime game with Penn State and Illinois. So anyway, you got to tackle. I mean, I would think that, look, the same thing the first week against Florida State. Think about the plays where Keon Coleman made big catches that were covered, where your defensive back was there. You know what I mean? So, if there's an encouraging thing, it's that at least the secondary has been responsibility sound. They've been where they're supposed to be. The problem is they're not making plays. So, can you fix that? That's what, I don't know. Myron, do you think the Alabama reign is over? Do I think Nick Saban will win another national championship? I do not. What does the reign over mean? I think you would have to define that. But they are, Alabama is not the same team at the line of scrimmage. It's the thing that differentiated them forever, was even when Leonard Fournette was averaging 200 yards a game, he goes into Tuscaloosa and rushes 15 times for 30 yards. Alabama was always better than everybody at the line of scrimmage, overwhelmed people at the line of scrimmage. And they aren't anymore. And then you have that problem, and you have a quarterback like Jalen Milroe, who's not a great passer. You have what you are. You are what you are. Wilk, good morning. Time for Chick-fil-A chicken minis before kickoff. Okay, it sounds delicious. Guy Brooks, good morning. Matt and family, ready for some LSU football. Austin Kidder, good morning from Laguna Beach. Whole family has COVID. It's going around again. Stay healthy and active. Everyone, nasal spray reduces the viral load. Good to know. Good to know. Nasal spray. Y'all get your nasal spray out. Hope everyone's feeling okay. Laguna Beach isn't a bad place to go. Just hang out and lay low if you're all sick. Just saying. Hope y'all are good, Austin. Dave Endure read somewhere that Mason was on the injured list. Is that true? Brian Kelly, when he went through the injuries, didn't. Well, you're talking about Mason. You're talking about Mason Taylor, not Mason Smith. Mason Taylor, yes. So Mason Taylor is officially was questionable for this game. They were going to let him go warm up and see how it feels. But it could be a really good opportunity to see Mac Markway though today, the freshman from St. Louis. Brennan Huff, Stanford Steve on game day predicted Nussmeier will get in the game today. I just heard, I was watching, he didn't predict that he'll get in the game. he was basically saying, couldn't you see a scenario where if LSU's struggling, Brian Kelly, who's used 2 quarterback systems in the past, like, and I like Steve a lot, by the way, but that's one of those things where I really wish, like, the way a lot of times that it works with the national guys is they have people on the local beat, or they have contacts within a certain athletic department or program, and they'll say, "What are you hearing about this?" Right? It's your best way to get intel locally. But like, if Steve would talk to anybody around this program, like, guys, we got to watch every practice during fall camp. Garrett Nussmeier took 0 first-team reps. 0. He is the backup. Like, if Jaden Daniels gets hurt, God forbid, or if LSU's up 30, Nussmeier will play. Like, that's it. It's so weird that this, like, persists. Like, let it go. Your team's in the middle of a season. Like, let's ride. Come on. Yeah. Shayna Mack saw Dave Chappelle and Chris Tucker and Nola a few years back at the Sanger. Okay, Sanger would have been a great venue to see him. Both were hilarious. Tucker's impersonation of Michael Jackson was spot on. Tiger Diver, who we betting today? Let's see. Let's shout out to my guy Brandon Holly from Relief Windows. We usually text like, who you playing this week, what you got. Yeah, he gave me Army last night, which was getting 8 points. Won the game outright. It was a good call. Good way to start the weekend. Let's see. I'm trying to go over. I like a lot of underdogs. So, well, first of all, I like Kansas State at Missouri. I think they cover. It's 3.5 right now. I think Kansas State covers at Missouri. I like South Carolina with the points. I like Georgia Tech with, it's down to, see, I got Georgia Tech at 18.5. It's down to 16.5 now against Ole Miss. And I'm going to tell y'all, man, I played Florida at 6.5. It's down to 5.5. The Sharps know something about that. And maybe it's just the fact that this is a game at night at the Swamp. Tough atmosphere. Tennessee hasn't won there in 20 years. I get all that. So just maybe like a situational type play more than anything. Excuse me, but sorry, I'm got this feature on Corso right now. Anyway, I like all of you think that Tennessee should probably just go and roll, but stinky line, man, stinky line. Look at Corso. Oh my God, he's in the full wolf suit. Corso. Let's see, Jason Horn, who are the openers? I don't know who the opening acts were. Like I said, I got there and I got a sandwich and a beer, and the guy who was opening up, oh Jesus, McConaughey's pulling the Mike the Tiger head off. Let's pull Lee's head off. Rick Manuel, good morning. Hope to see the sack total going up when they decide to throw it. Only having won after 2 games is unexpected. Coming into the season, our defensive front 7 was a perceived strength. So I think the defensive front 7 did fine in run defense against Florida State. And again, it's hard to get a sack if, oh Lord, if teams are getting rid of the ball quickly. So it's not a complete and total excuse. Oh Lord, of course, they're holding a baby gator. Oh my God. So Corso's sorry. I'm sorry. Corso's going to do his 400th headgear pick today. So they're doing a big feature on game day right now on Corso's headgear picks. Anyway. Todd Harris, good morning. Chad Dupuy, good morning. Whoa. Game day is saying Nuss will play today. No, that was Stanford Steve who was making a projection. Brent Roban, how much longer do you think Corso can go on game day? They're gonna let him do. They're gonna let him do this as long as he wants, right? And he's obviously already been replaced. It's why they had brought in David Pollock, and now they've replaced Pollock with McAfee, and so they've got the big personality in Pat McAfee. But they're going to let Corso continue to do this role where he's in there for a segment or two. Corso dressed up like Chief Osceola. Bubba Smith, Lance McPhail, good morning. Tim Whitten, good morning. Daniel Williams. Let's see. We don't know that what has LSU's receivers shown. I mean, Daniel, LSU's receivers are awesome. Malik Neighbors is going to be a first-round pick. Brian Thomas is leading the team, and he's got over 200 yards receiving already in 2 games. He's got back-to-back 100-yard receiving games. He's been really good. They've been really good. The problem is drops. But getting open hasn't been a problem at all. Dre Marceau, good morning. Can't wait for a victorious whiskey and wine. Thank you, Dre. It's a lot more fun when they win. Vernell Thomas, can LSU figure out how to get Harold Perkins back to his dominating self, please? Look, Vernell, I think part of the issue, well, first of all, keep in mind, the first game he played a different position. The second game, he didn't play after halftime. So, whatever. But it's also very possible to neutralize a great pass rusher. Go the other way. I mean, you could do it. People did it with Will Anderson last year. I mean, his totals from the year before were cut in half. So, I think you look at it and realize you may only have a couple of times a game where he may have a couple times a game to make an impactful play. So you just got to make it. I mean, there was a play, the double pass against Florida State that they completed. Perkins was trailing the runner who was about to throw the ball back, and I think it was Greg Penn, maybe. I think it was Greg Penn who maybe inadvertently blocked Harold Perkins. I mean, Perkins was that close to a sack TFL right there, and what was a pretty game-changing play. Anyway. But yes, I mean, you'd love to see it, for sure. But it'll come. Jeff McKithen, good morning. David Tolson, what do you make of the hat and glasses controversy surrounding the Colorado coach Sanders? Seems silly. I think it's a very dumb thing to say by Norvell because tons of people wear hats and glasses during interviews. That's one. Two, I think it's stupid to get Colorado's attention even more so. I will say the flip side of it is that was at his coach's show, and during his press conference, he was very complimentary. It's no different than Brian Kelly being very complimentary during the week, and then at his coach's show saying, we're going to go beat the heck out of Florida State. A coach's radio show is just a giant pep rally. That's what it is. You say things differently in a pep rally than you will in a press conference. Everything's recorded now. Dumb thing to say. But I also understand when you're playing to the crowd. Michelle Manuel, go Tigers from Oregon. All right, Michelle, thanks for watching. Todd Harris, what's your confidence level today playing Mississippi State? Just for LSU to win, 8.5. 8.5 out of 10. I think it would be a pretty significant upset if State wins this game today. I know it's in Starkville, it's 11 a.m. and all that stuff. The thing that I just can't get past is the one glaring weakness LSU has. I don't think Mississippi State can exploit. And I don't think Zach Arnett's a good coach. Maybe in time he'll prove me wrong, but I think we are dramatically underestimating the impact of Mike Leach. And I'm not just talking about because he ran the air raid. I mean Mike Leach, the head football coach, on the sideline on a Saturday. His experience, you just looked across the field and you always knew there was a chance that the Pirate was going to cook something up for you. LSU has a dramatic advantage with Brian Kelly over Zach Arnett. So maybe State plays great and wins. It happens. It happens every Saturday in college football. But I would be very surprised. Mikey Boombats, do any of the LSU backs rush for 100 yards today? I'm going to say no. Chuck Sanchez, good morning. Nicole Darby Bourgeois, good morning. So Nicole said, is Greg Brooks okay? Heard he had an issue. I have not heard anything about an injury to Greg Brooks. I've had a few people ask. And I actually did make a call yesterday when the team was getting on the bus to try to find out, but I didn't get an update. And then I left AFR and went straight to Chappelle, came home, went to sleep, woke up and did this. So I haven't had a chance to call. Make a call this morning. But Brian Kelly is very candid. Like on Monday, he did not say Omar Spates on the injury list, and then he did on Thursday. So he could have very much gone by without saying that. So I guess if there was a problem, he'd disclose it. But let's see. LSU Terra Wild, good morning. Been a while. Hope you the family well. Doing great. Thanks, man. Let's see. Dana Berthala, Chuck Bro, good morning. Lowell Cormier, good morning. Greetings to Drew and Erica also. Erica's out getting her hair done, but I will certainly pass along the salutations. And Drew is sleeping, but maybe he'll get up here in a little bit. Mr. Toby Tumplay. After further review. What up, brah? LSU Fans Association, good morning. Chuck Bro, Colorado by 30 tonight. Yeah, line's 23, and I think Colorado State has their undivided attention. Perry Schilling, good morning from Stark Vegas. I hate cowbells, LOL. Jump back over here to YouTube. Yo, look at that, 170 watching live. Y'all please smash that like button if you would. Subscribe up to the channel if you're new. Only 33 likes. I think we can do better. If you're watching on mobile, just X out of the live chat, hit the little thumbs up button, and then hit live chat again. The comments come right back. So thanks for being here, y'all. As always, shout out to Brock and Hudco. Need North Peaks, go to Brock. Need a roof, give a shout out to Hudco, HudcoRoofing.com. Bubba Tatum, Chappelle was fantastic. Let's go Tigers. Joey Metge, Dylan likes the under on Bama South Florida. Be curious to see the new quarterback today. Bradley and Graffia, what's going on? Sonny Warbington, Donovan Peterson. Bubba Tatum said, we were in the 300s in front of the line array setup, so sound was good for us. Sure, it sounded different in the suites. I was not in the suite, but I was in the 100 level. I was in 117, so I was not on the floor. I was basically what would be considered the lower level behind the baseline for a basketball game. Actually, closer to the corner. Edward Frank said the crowd was horrible. The show was great. By the crowd being horrible, I think you mean just like it was packed, or do you think that the people were bad? Ronnie Duga, did you make it on time? Did he, Rocco? I did make it on time to the show because they had opening acts. I think Chappelle probably started around 9. And I don't know, I didn't like they'd make you take off your watch and your smartphone and put it in one of those bags, so I didn't really know what time it was. Scott Lumine said, I was there. It was low at some points, loud sometimes with an echo. I might have heard 30% of what he said. See, that was the problem. And it wasn't that it was low or high, Scott. It was what I was explaining with the microphone. We're talking about Chappelle last night for those who just joined it. It's because he had, sometimes the mic would be here and sometimes he would hold the mic here. And that's why it's the benefit of an earpiece mic coming across your mouth. So it's always right there. Shane O'Mac. The show he didn't speak consistently to the mic as well. So yeah, it was a little hard to hear. Oh, that's Ed Sanger. Got it. Jason Mobile. Yeah. Talking about, I'm a little behind on comments. I'll catch up. So about shoes wearing today. What kicks I'm wearing today? Let's see, Dalton, what planet is Quincy Wiggins from? So I'm up close to the Grambling game. Hard to believe he's a freshman. So he's a redshirt freshman because he was here a year ago. And he is a really big physical human, a hell of a specimen. I would have expected more from him this year. Saw a post of Will Muschamp being the next coach. Who knows? It's true. As far as the Greg Brooks, I mean, you saw a post, yeah. Let's see, Jesse Post. Good morning, Michael Broussard. Good morning from Champaign, Illinois. Hope the family's well. Going to dual screen LSU in Illinois with some breakfast and mimosas. Okay, sounds like a good day. Barry Jocelyn. Good morning, Bailey C. I'm watching Free of Intense Emotion. I was so angry after Florida State. I ain't got nothing left. They'll hook you back in. Let's see, Shane O'Mac over under LSU scores 45 today. Under. Marine Sniper 42. Crying Belly. Morning, Matt. Guy on ESPN said LSU. I do not believe LSU switching quarterbacks today. Again, like this is where sometimes it's like the game of telephone. Things gets distorted. They went over to Stanford Steve. Stanford Steve brought up the fact that in the past, Brian Kelly has made quarterback changes, used 2 quarterbacks. He said, couldn't you see a situation where LSU struggling and on the road today in Starkville and he puts Nussmeier in? That's what he said. He didn't make a prediction. He wasn't reporting news. He was basically saying, couldn't you see a situation where that happens? So, unless if I misheard him, I mean, I can rewind it and go back and listen to see exactly what but I was sitting right here listening to it. Austin Kidder, Matt, I'll support you if you want to not read Nuss comments the rest of the season. I mean, look, if he plays, of course we'll talk about it. And I think I would love to see him get as much experience as possible at the end of games because it means you're blowing out a lot of teams. That'd be great. But y'all keep hammering this Nussmeier thing. He ain't playing. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like they've got their guy. Let's see. If we lose a game instead of winning out, do you think Brian Kelly will refer to his statement earlier in the season? This would not be a championship run this year. Maybe. I don't know that he would bring it up, but people could probably ask him about it. King Mo, Kelly needs to shorten the running back rotation because no one can get in a rhythm if he keeps switching out. Frank Wilson handles the running backs, by the way, and gets to pick who goes in the game at what point. So, and I think look, you have John Emery back today. You got Logan Diggs healthy. I think really what you see today is Logan Diggs, Josh Williams. I'm sure Emery will get in the game at some point, but 5 touches or less. And then I think, Caleb Jackson, Noah Kane are really hard runners that could be closers. So if you have a lead in the fourth quarter and try to run clock, I could see those two guys going in. Peter Fender, good morning. Crying Belly, I know this is off topic, but Matt, you're like the only people of LSU media who watches UFC. So is there a question? Did you want to ask me about UFC or just... I mean, I'm fascinated for tonight. I'm not going to get to watch Grasso against Valentina, but I was in Vegas when Valentina lost. That was also John Jones's debut in heavyweight. So my brother-in-law and I flew out to Vegas, went to those fights. And Grasso beating Shevchenko was probably the most shocking result I've seen in person at a UFC event. I've seen upsets before, of course, but that was stunning. I mean, Valentina is as skilled and technical a fighter as there is in the UFC, and she just runs through people. I mean, I've seen her fight live 3 times now. I mean, it's a clinic. But hang on. What I'm talking about. Here we go. They're talking about LSU Mississippi on game day now. Same thing. There's Brian. Hey, Brian. Hey, Brian. Look at Nick Brissett back there. That's cool that Nick's on staff. Okay, I didn't say anything about it. Lee Manning, good morning. Robert Wall, good morning. Savion Jones, Block Perkins, my big-time stack in Florida State game also. That may be the one I'm talking about. I thought it was Greg Penn, but maybe it was Savion. Jacob Hibbard, by the end of the season, do you think the secondary will become solid? You'd have to define solid. I mean, I think, again, I want to reiterate, I think Florida State is the best team LSU is going to face all year. So if you're playing them at a different time of the year, maybe we have a different feeling about it. I think, look, Keon Coleman, when you look at mock drafts, he's probably the highest drafted guy that you're going to face this year. It's not to say other teams don't have good receivers, but like Ra Thomas was Mississippi State's best receiver a year ago. He's at Georgia now. Ole Miss lost Jonathan Mingo, and like that, I don't see the super freak there at Ole Miss. Missouri, no. Arkansas has good receivers. Arkansas could be a problem throwing the ball around. Yeah, you see, you get my point. Like, I mean, Evan Stewart against A&M, from A&M, Moose Muhammad. I mean, they have really good ones, obviously. Anyway, this kid's gonna kick a field goal. Was it 25-yarder? Did he take his shoes off? He's actually stepping it off like he knows what he's doing. Oh, no, he don't know what he's doing. Oh, it didn't get there. He kicked it straight. It just didn't go high enough. Will Rattler have a career game today, or will he hold on to that anchor and sink? Yeah, I think Georgia wins somewhat easily, but I do like South Carolina in the points. Gulf South, tough watching Corso live. They need to let him ride off into the sunset after his 400 pick. Bring Pollock. Well, they're not bringing David Pollock back. They're going to let Corso continue to do his limited role as much as he wants to. And I support that. Let him call his shot on how he wants to go out. Let's see, Will. I want to see Jaden hit 70% pass completion today. Receivers have to catch balls too. That's part of it. That plagued Nuss too. Shelton Sampson dropped 2 that Nuss threw. So it's both of them. Mike the Tiger, at least we're not Florida. Always get Tigers in the pros from AFR, LOL. Robert Wall, very tough watching Corso live. Yeah. Sorry, I lost my spot. There we are. Devin Johnson, good morning. I hope the intensity is better today or won't be good. Murder Giraffe, how is Dave Chappelle? It was good. I'm going to the Smoothie King Center tonight. Is Chappelle playing again tonight at Smoothie King? Was it a 2-night show? I mean, he was great. Just expect a long, long line to get in because everybody has to put their phone in a bag and it takes forever to get in. Just expect a giant line. Gulf South, some random guy was in the OTB chat yesterday claiming he's friends with an LSU staffer who said Greg Brooks is out for the season due to medical emergency. Zero credibility. Like, here's, okay. All right, so I'm trying to think of a way to say this that will actually make sense and not come off the wrong way. Whenever someone reports something, a great standard to use is, what does this person have to lose if they're wrong? Meaning, somebody randomly who nobody knows goes into a radio show's YouTube video chat and drops that in there. If that person's wrong, what do they have to lose? Literally zero. No one knows who it is. They move on with their life like nothing ever happened. It's no big deal at all. If I go on air and say that and I'm wrong, that's devastating. That follows you. That's a credibility thing. That's, you know what I mean? So I would always start with that. It's even on Twitter when people break news on Twitter. Well, if they're wrong, what do they have to lose? I see it all the time. I see it all the time. People with blogs or podcasts try to break news. And generally, it's stuff like that. They have a friend who's a staffer who's at this. It's 3 times removed, but you want to believe it's true so much that you roll with it. Like, I would never break news without multiple forms of verification. You would never single source anybody. I mean, unless if it's news about that person and they tell you directly. Like, if a coach tells you, I'm taking this job, and you report, so-and-so tells me he's taking this job. Okay, well, that's valid. All of that, though, is not to say the guy's wrong. Maybe so. But I've heard nothing of the sort. And Brian Kelly gives out an injury report on Thursdays and on Thursday night, and I made a phone call yesterday at 2:30 as the team was getting on the bus to go to the airport. And I was not told that about Greg Brooks. So, again, maybe it's true, but always consider the source. Emmett Bean checking in from Gaithersburg, Maryland. All right, Emmett. Let's see. Drift 318. What are your thoughts on the other LSU quarterbacks last week? Didn't get to watch any content this week. Yeah, played well, man. Look, Garrett's a great arm talent. I think he's going to be really good when he gets a shot. And Ricky Collins, you could see when he takes off and runs, it's pretty dynamic. So you got, you got some good prospects there. Jason Lawson says, what time are you heading over to Don Juan? I go over at halftime. So I watch the first half at my house, and then I leave my house at halftime and head over to Don Juan. Phil Stevens, game day, let's go Knowles and Tigers. Edward Frank, Phil Stevens, Peter Fenner, problem with traffic by the Dome is they allow pedestrian traffic to cross in front of parking traffic without any semblance of organization. Absolute poop show, but typically New Orleans. Stephen Fry, always weird to be drinking coffee when the Tigers are playing. Miles Bennon, sometimes best quarterback is on the bench. Okay. Thank you, Miles. I get it. Let's see. Ryan Pike, not going to lie. Pimpton looked like a giraffe out there last week, not clumsy. He had the one catch in the left flat and kind of struggled to turn and get upfield. But Robert Wall asked Matt, was RC indirectly saying he is unimpressed with LSU's coaching and recruiting at the DB position on your show? I don't think he was subtly saying that. I think he was, that was funny. I think he pretty openly vouched for Corey Raymond there. And I don't think he's wrong. I think that's pretty clearly one staff spot that Brian Kelly messed up. I don't know how you didn't retain Corey Raymond. Now, I know Corey Raymond wanted to be considered for defensive coordinator the year before when Ed Ogeron brought in Durante. And I don't know that was ever going to happen, right? But Brian Kelly not... But Corey's also... The thing I know about Corey is at this point in his life where Corey's 50... Corey's 54. So, like, he's not going to go take the DC job at a G5 level, right? To then spend a few to work his way up. At 54, I mean, he was making $750,000 at LSU and coaching at his alma mater and recruiting Louisiana. I mean, he had a great spot. He wasn't at that point in his career going to go to the bottom. But he wanted to be the LSU DC. And that just wasn't a direction that LSU was going to go. So, anyway, but Brian Kelly not retaining him as defensive backs coach was a mistake. And it's not a knock on Robert Steeples or Kerry Cooks. It's not to say those aren't good coaches, but Corey Raymond. Lawrence Burley, good morning. Brad David, how was the brisket yesterday? It was really good. So Chris's Specialty Foods comes in on Friday for our tailgate segment. They usually bring something prepared. And so Coben brought a platter that was it was sliced brisket, boudin, a couple different types of sausage with all the dipping sauces. Oh my God, that brisket was incredible. Like, people say melt in your mouth, tender, but sometimes don't exactly know, or that doesn't exactly happen. But, I get it with that. Or I don't know what that means, but that was melt in your mouth tender. That was incredible. Murder Giraffe, the rock and boulder next to a mountain. Ronnie Duga, how does the phone thing work? E-ticket with no phone, curious. So Ronnie, you use your e-ticket to get in. Like, you scan your ticket on your phone, and then they give you a bag. People were posting about it earlier. You have a bag, and they put your phone in the bag, and it locks the bag. And then they have a little device they use to unlock it when you leave. So you have your phone with you. It's just in a bag that you can't access. And then they have someone write down your seat location on a piece of paper and give it to everybody so you know where your seat is, because you can't access your ticket on your phone. All right, smash that like button, please. Any possibility of Armani Goodwin today? Sadly, we've seen him before. Anytime we've seen him, he's been too explosive for his own good. That's true. Like, he's a very physical, explosive runner, but that does lead to soft tissue injuries. That's what he's dealing with again. Irfan Sayad, Vulture Mode. Would you take Jaquavius Marks over 68.5 rushing? Probably. Because I think they're going to commit to it. And he's likely to bust one at some point. I know a guy who knows an NFL ref. Golf South, are we expecting a day drunk T-Bob today? Of course. Are you kidding me? I mean, T-Bob does a 1 mezcal per quarter. So he does 4 double mezcals during the game. And then continues to drink during post-game, and then, has a cigar and all the other stuff. Yeah, y'all need to, ignore Murder Giraffe. Miles He's spoofing Miles Brennan. So He's just trolling. He's just joking. Like, ignore him. Let's see, a couple more. Chris Williams, why can't Corey Webster be considered for position coach? He's available and it can't hurt. Yeah, Chris, at a place like LSU, you don't hire coaches with no experience. You have it's such a huge opportunity that when you talk about the resources you have, the opportunity to recruit, the stage that you're on, the money you'll make, there's no reason to take a chance with someone who's never coached. That's just the most plain way to say it. And that's, again, not to say someone who's never coached can't succeed. It's just to say, why take that risk? Like, you're LSU, you don't need to take that risk. Thought the story when Greg McMahon left LSU was he retired, yet hasn't he coached every year since he left? He's at Tulane now. Yeah, he didn't retire. He wasn't retained. They brought in Polian. It's funny, that was the two spots, because I remember T-Bob and I did our podcast when Brian Kelly hired his first staff, and we went position by position on the staff to say, okay, did they upgrade or did they downgrade? And every from Ogeron's last staff to Kelly's first staff, we went position by position, and they upgraded literally at every spot except two. We said special teams and cornerback, or DBs. And that's kind of manifested, hasn't it? Wilk, I want to see Diggs have a big game. Hey, Dad, good morning. Matt, going to get to see the Tigers tonight or this morning. Well, let's see. You said, so my dad's in Israel. He's in the Holy Land. So actually, I don't know if he's in Israel anymore. He messaged the other day from Israel, but they were going to the Holy Land. So I don't know all the geography to know how near or far where you stay and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, I think he told us it's 8 hours ahead. So an 11 a.m. game means that you would actually be starting, at 7 p.m. there? That's pretty good, actually. Jason Lawson, as T-Bob doesn't drive home, does. No, he Ubers. That's a good question, and I do want to point out, he always Ubers. I've even offered to bring, because I don't drink when I'm there. I smoke my cigar and have my one little 1 ounce pour of Sazerac that I sip, so I'm always fine. And I've offered to bring him home. He's like, no, bro, I was catching Uber. I'm like, what? Do you not like my... He lives right by me. Anyway. Matt, I'm going to find some of those phone locking bags for my kids' iPads. They'll melt. Andy Boy, did you really think we upgraded from Corey Raymond? No, Andy Boy, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Special teams and DB coaches were the two spots they did not upgrade, where the old staff was better, is what I'm saying. So we went position by position, like OC, DC, D-line, like every offensive, like everywhere we looked. And they maintained, obviously, they kept Brad Davis as the offensive line coach, but we looked at every position, and you could legitimately say they upgraded at every spot except defensive back and special teams. Let's see. All right, I think we're almost done. Let's see, jump back over here to Facebook. Y'all smash that like button. As always, shout out to Brock. After Hours Clinic is open. So look, if you're jumping up to celebrate an LSU touchdown today and you twist your ankle and you need to go to a doctor, bypass the ER, get by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Okay. Where are we? Darren Gagnon, good morning. What is this guy posting? Get out of here. Get out of here. Ron Wisnant, good morning. Kansas State, I like Kansas State laying the points. Cowbells, 11 a.m. need to be removed from college football. Chuck Rowe would love to see Chappelle, but in a venue like Joe Rogan's club. Let's see. Eric Hart, did you see the Calandros post about Smoke Wagon? I did not. I heard we were getting Smoke Wagon in Louisiana. So Smoke Wagon is a whiskey that's distilled in Las Vegas. It's very good and become very popular very quickly. But it is delicious, especially if you get the uncut Smoke Wagon. But look at The Rock. Already? It's 10 o'clock. It's early for guest picker, huh? Huh. Gary Atchison, good morning. Let's dominate the line of scrimmage. Oh, wait, hang on. Drew's awake. Let me go see if I can get him to come say good morning. Hang on. Hey, you want to come say hi to that show? Come say hi to that show. Drew, come say hi. Oh, he goes, no. 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 Shout out to Hudco. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Where are we? Justin McVicker, Stanford Steve said today's day the Nuss comes in. No, I don't think that at all. I completely disagree with him. Several people have asked it, and I kind of wish Stanford Steve would have kind of pried around here a little bit before going on air with that, because there's nothing like Garrett Nussmeier does not take any first team reps. Like, this is not a question. It's Jaden Daniels' team. Like, he is the starter. He's the only way you're going to see Nuss is if LSU's up 30, down 30, or if Jaden gets hurt, God forbid. Jeremy Sagely, morning, Matt. Aggie land with the girlfriend and Aggie grad, but we will be in Death Valley for Arkansas game next Saturday. Go Tigers. All right, Jeremy. Okay, I think we're just about done here. All right, thanks for watching, y'all. Have an awesome day. Go Tigers. Kick off less than an hour from now, so let's get it. Y'all have an awesome day. We'll see you. Peace. LSU 34-24. LSU 34-24. Peace.